No more BS. I found what I want to do, and if you take this video seriously, by the end of it, you will know what to do to find your passion as well. So this is my first video and I'm starting my journey into content creation with this. And the way I'm doing it is, this video is going to be pretty much a freestyle. I just have some notes on what I want to talk about. Other than that, I don't want to do like an hour-long script. So there's a lot of content out there about how to find your passion, how to find your purpose, be it videos, blogs, books, whatnot. And they all kind of revolve around finding your passion, which I think is actually kind of inaccurate, because if you ask me, it's more about finding your truth, and that is not something that you will find by going out there somewhere and looking. I just find that's very misleading, and what I actually ended up doing is I spent years upon years trying out different jobs and not really finding my answer or even coming close to an answer. It was honestly just a huge waste of time because I didn't know what to look for. Like, I had no idea who I was. It was a huge waste of time, so please don't do that same mistake. First of all, I want to clarify, I think that there's a difference between passion and purpose. My definition is that passion is the process and purpose is the goal, basically. And if you actually make this distinction, then you might find that you actually know one part of what you want to do. You might already know what your purpose is. Like, you might know that eventually you want to have financial freedom. So actually by doing that, and maybe a better example would be, you know that you don't want to work a 9-to-5 job long term. By knowing, like, by making this differentiation of what your end goals are, for example, you can already filter out a lot of the options that you will likely have. You probably are thinking about a lot of different things that you are just kind of sort of interested in, but none of them are just really ticking all the boxes for you, and you probably don't even know what all of your boxes are. So now that we have that cleared up, let's get into the first step, and that is letting go of your limiting beliefs. Now this one is kind of a tricky one, because I thought for the longest time that I knew what limiting beliefs are, but actually there are probably a ton of limiting beliefs that you've been carrying around and you had no idea, because some of these limiting beliefs are kind of obvious. They're like kind of stereotypical, like, oh, you know, I don't think there's any way for me to get rich. How would I ever get rich? That's maybe a very obvious one where you would immediately say, oh, that's a limiting belief. Why can't I get rich? But the more tricky ones to find, where you also probably need help finding them, because I actually couldn't find them by myself, I completely overlooked them, are the ones that you are actually operating by. So that is your logic, your reality, your current paradigm. So what makes this tricky is that you think these limiting beliefs are knowledge. You mistake them for knowledge. So for example, you might say, okay, I want to build muscle. To build muscle, you have to do physical activity. But actually, maybe that's not true. And I am giving this outrageous example on purpose, because this is what your limiting beliefs will look like. You will just feel like it's very logical. Like, of course, you have to do one thing to do this or whatever, you know? And this is what your limiting beliefs in your logic will look like. But the thing is, the people who have the things that you want to achieve, they are probably operating by a very different logic than the logic that you are operating by. In other words, that they are on a whole another paradigm. Yeah, the reality for them is just very different. They are looking at reality through a different lens. So if you're only looking outside but you don't check your lenses through which you're viewing reality, then you're most likely going to overlook those. The way I actually found my limiting beliefs was through Quantum Society by Alex Wagner. And if it wasn't for them, I would probably still be stuck trying to figure things out, like going by my logic. Not done yet. If it hadn't been for Quantum Society, I would have been stuck for probably much, much longer. So do check them out if you... That's fine, that's fine. Go! So do check them out. I think it's going to make an immense difference in your life and in the way you think about your life. Now, most of the time, other content will like make some elaborate ways of thinking about your life where you're basically thinking around 5 corners to figure out what you want to do with your life. But I think the only real question that you have to ask yourself, the one that really helped me a lot, that I figured out by myself, was what if you could choose? So you can start with something simple. What if you could choose the place where you live? What if you could choose your partner? What if you could choose your job? You know? And these things just get obviously more and more difficult, but don't get caught up in, oh, you know, at this stage, I mean, don't get caught up on, oh, but if I have this kind of partner, then that means that I need to look this way, for example. That's, again, this is your logic that you're operating by. Or let's say, for example, oh, but if I had that business, then that would mean I would have to build it up, and how would I do that? What you want is probably actually not that complicated. This is not some job interview. You don't have to like fulfill any criteria, the things you want and what you want to achieve. Don't compare yourself or anything. Don't make it some grandiose thing when it's really quite simple, and don't make it more simple than it is either. Just be very honest with what you want, and don't you know don't beat around the bush, basically. And this also ties in with the first step, to not basically lie to yourself when there's something that you really want to do, but you're not doing it because of limiting beliefs, because you don't think you can do it, and make that what you do for a living. So don't waste time with elaborate questions, because the answer is probably lying very close, somewhere between what do you enjoy doing and what do you wish your job was. Probably somewhere in between these two you will find your answer. Another one that helped me is, whose lifestyle do you envy, and what is it out of their life that you wish you had for your own life? So for me, that was Christian LeBlanc, Sebastian Force, and Ali Abdaal. They are all content creators, but they're making content about 3 very different things. One is doing traveling videos, one is doing gaming and talking to his audience just very casually and very laid back, and the other one is doing educational content. I wanted to do all 3 of them. That became very clear only when I took an honest look at what I actually wanted to be doing in my life. And once I found this question, I finally found my answer. It was as clear as day. I wanted to do these things that these people are doing, and I didn't want to just do one of them. I wanted to do all 3 of them. And before that, I was trying to decide on one of them, but now it's just clear as day to me. Step 3, clean up your doubts. So this also basically ties in with the second step that I was just talking about, where I was pretty sure that I wanted to do content creation for a long time, and I had a hunch that I couldn't settle for doing one type of content. I wanted to do all 3 of them. But the way that I actually cleaned up those doubts was by asking myself, well, what do I actually want my life to look like? And another question that I came up with that really helped me immensely and quickly Or basically, I should say it was the one question that ended up with me actually settling for content creation and for doing this now, is if you were old now and you were looking back on your life, what would you be happy to see yourself doing? So this question, when I asked myself, well, would I be happy seeing that I was spending my whole life only limiting myself to educational content, but not traveling and like also doing fun content? Would I really be happy like that I limited myself to that? The answer was definitely not. Definitely no, I wouldn't be happy. But similarly, would I be happy just playing video games and sharing that? Even if I was successful, I would have probably not been that happy. I would have probably thought that I could have done more looking back, than just, you know, just sitting in front of the PC and pressing buttons. Like, I just wanted that variety. So, and traveling basically was that variety for me. But again, if I'd just settled for traveling, that would have been probably fine for me looking back. But I felt like I would burn out maybe, because traveling is obviously going to be exhausting if that's what you're doing all the time, all year. And frankly, I don't think I could have come up with that many ideas that I could do only traveling videos. So it was important for me that I have that wiggle room to go and do educational videos like this one, or do maybe some Twitch streams where I just chill and talk to people and play video games from time to time. And once you're happy with your vision for your life, commit to it. Know that this is what you want. Don't think about, oh, but this is unrealistic or whatever. Like, really, your thoughts determine how you feel about doing all of these things. This became abundantly clear for me while I was going through this process of changing my beliefs. It doesn't matter if you're going to fail. Why? Because to hell with your life, quite frankly. If you can't do the things that you want, then what's the point? What are you living life for then? If this is what you enjoy doing, but you don't get successful with it, so be it. What can you do? That's life. But I'll tell you one thing, the pain of regret of never having tried will probably be far greater than like having failed, whatever the case, how it turns out to be. And if you're really committed, I don't think you can actually fail. Now, this is also important to keep in mind. These things take time, so don't expect to just go through this video once and then just figure it out all in one day or one evening. Even if you do serious journaling on that one evening, I hope these questions that I came up with for you will help you in figuring things out quicker than I did, and will help you not waste time like I did, at least not so much. But yeah, it will probably be a gradual process of finding out more about yourself and discovering what you really want out of your life. So have patience. And if I can give you one big tip for going through this process, is to continually ask yourself why. So let's say you think that you can't transform your body to the one that you want, and I'm just using fitness as an example. Then you might say, okay, well, why do I think that I can't do that? Oh, because I don't think I can put in the effort. Why do I think I can't put in the effort? Oh, because I just enjoy fast food too much. Why do I enjoy fast food so much? Is it really that I enjoy fast food so much, or is it just that I'm so used to eating fast food? That's just some examples, you know. You just have to keep questioning, keep digging, basically, and it can help to journal your thoughts out to stay on topic and not get distracted. And then you just keep digging, asking why and why and why, and you will find your truths. I can promise you that. If you want to go deeper, I wrote quite a few articles about this kind of thing on my website. I will post the link in the description down below, and also I will post a link to Quantum Society. You can join the Discord anytime, and you will probably find me there, and also my buddy Alex. Shout out really to him. He's really helped me out a lot. We have daily mindset trainings in that Discord, and those will really help you to get to your inner truth. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Subscribe and tell me in the comments what you would like to hear me talk about next. I will read all of them and answer as quickly as possible. You can just see these people over here, over the rooftop. They're about to fall down. They're just hanging out there. Oh, there they go. There they come. That's gonna be us later. It's gonna be pretty lit. Maybe I'll make a video about that as well. So, see you in the next one maybe. Bye bye.